What's up, everybody? Logan here again, coming at you guys with another video. And I'm super excited to talk again today on this little scalping series we've started. This week I pulled just around $43,000 in scalps. I want to go over a handful of setups that I was looking at, but more importantly, I actually want to talk about the EM this video, so the expected move and how I kind of utilize that, what it means throughout the day, right? We have different intraday pieces that you need to pay attention to, especially when you're scalping. In the last 5 weeks, we were actually up almost $190,000. I'm on pace for just over $1 million by the end of the year at this rate, but I'm also going to scale it back quite a bit in the next few coming months. Just because I want a little bit more work-life balance and to spend less time staring at the screen all the time. But overall, I've had a lot of fun with the series and I love the scalps, right? There's been a lot of opportunity for us. I'll also be in Vegas this coming weekend. I got invited by public to a trading seminar. So if you guys are going to be out there at the seminar, I'll probably run into you, which is a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. Hang out with the community of traders. If you guys would like to come follow these trades, like if we hop over to the trade tab here, we have a trade on for 2DTs out. This is also the same trade we took down in here and amplified. The link is down below in the description. If you guys have yet to leave a like, comment, or subscribe, I would appreciate that greatly at this time. If you guys are brand new here or have been watching, we had a pretty slow week this week, but we did have this trade for a $1.40 expire worthless, which was very nice. And then we added this for June 24th down here. Also, if you guys comment Discord below, I'm actually doing a giveaway for 1 free month in the Discord. So just comment Discord below. Also, leave a like on the video and you'll be entered into that. Also, the link is below down in the description if you'd like to come sign up and trade with us. So I'll just say that really quickly about that. Now we come back to the trade tab. I'm going to pull up the sticky notes for us today again. Now, last video, we spent more time talking here and there about price levels, right? And kind of understanding where our supply zones are so we can figure out when to take call credit spreads versus put credit spreads, looking at your overall setup and just paying attention to, am I delta neutral? Do I understand the market that I'm in? Do I understand when the market's transitioning one way or the other? So for me, that's a lot of what I pay attention to, just because I know it's just as important to be on the right side of the trade. And I don't trade very often any iron condors, right? That's just not for me at this moment. I would say 90% of my trades just focus on being on one side of the trade. So I do have times where maybe I have 2 or 3 call spreads or 2 or 3 put spreads open, different expirations, different strikes, layering my risk over time. But I don't really do too much with condors anymore unless I'm trying to scalp one side. Like maybe I've got a put credit spread and the market's risen 20, 25, 30 points. And then I want to scalp a call credit spread at resistance. So maybe I'll put something on and I'll see the market move down 10 points and I'll take that off, right? That's kind of my thought process here and there with condors. But today I want to talk about the EM. So couple steps for using the expected move. Now we know the expected move is a living thing, right? And what I mean by that is it's always moving, the numbers are changing throughout the day. It's very similar to the market, but this will tell us a lot of what we should expect. So we're going to start at number one. We're going to go with the EM bands. And if you're like, what's that? That is literally the plus or minus values from the SPX close. So if we're talking about 54.64, right? So we're just going to write that. And then we're going to do plus or minus 23. And then that's going to give me what I expect the range to, or the market to range around. If we have that to the downside, that's really easy math. That's going to put our strike at 54.41. And then also to the upside, right? So I'm going to say down. And then to the upside, if we just add 23, that's going to take us to 87, right? So that's going to be our upside value. And I'll just do 54. Let's see if I can fit it. Yep, on the sticky. So that's going to be our upside value. So what I'm looking for is I'm trying to find that value in the EM bands at that moment. So if the market goes up 20 points Monday, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to check the EM bands. I'm going to say, well, if 54.87 was what was expected, right? And you have always around a 66 to 70% chance that you stay within the expected move by close. So I'm going to be looking at maybe more call credit spreads to add. And I will understand that 5,500 is a big psychological level. So maybe we're seeing more pressure, right? We're seeing the market try to push that way, to go fill that area, right? We have a lot of shorts up there, but we're still in a bull market. And if we come take a look at the charts tab really quickly, we're doing a lot of consolidation up at this level. We had a big takeoff back here. This was Monday, and then throughout here with a lot of chopping. After we hit 55.05 as the high, we sold off quite a bit, and we're very extended from those moving averages, right, on my 10-day 30-minute. Even the other charts tab, take a look down here on the daily chart. I mean, we're coming back to the top end of the pattern, which is kind of where we were, right? Anytime we had a big pull down, as we came towards the top of the range. So I'm still leaning CCS a little bit more going into next week. No new highs were set Thursday night going into Friday. So when that's the case, and OPEX, of course, didn't help either, I lean a little bit more to the downside as far as, hey, where's the market going to head from here? So back to the stickies tab, we have the EM bands, right? Now, also the other thing that I'm going to pay attention to is what's our 2x the EM value? And if we find that, is there value, right? Is there value in a trade? So I would say it's a little bit harder to find that value in a low VIX environment like we are in at the moment. But if you're scalping 0 DTEs and you want to do this for a long piece of your life, or even if you're like, hey, I want to do this for 2 years and then quit and go start a golf course or open a store or whatever you want to do. I know that's one of my big goals. I think I've talked about this before in a video, but I want to use all of this day trading profit to, after I pay the taxes on it, to go and buy a golf course, right? And own and operate one. That's one of my goals and dreams. And I would love to own like 2 to 4 of them throughout my life. So you can help set those values and goals in your head. But with the 2x the expected move, is there value in that trade? Now, if we go back to the Discord and we check our expected move chart, I wanted to make sure that we were at the EM high, which is why we're at 55.05, because we have a large expected move for Monday. And generally, when you see the market look exhausted and you have a really large EM over the weekend going into Monday, I would say more times than not, you actually see a red day because they're pricing in a larger than normal move. So for me, I'm going to say, okay, I think there's a higher chance that the market drops Monday. So I also like that CCS as the play as well. Doesn't mean it's going to work out. Of course, we could continue to rip up and continue to break out to new highs. We're in a bull market, so you have an 80% chance that you should be on the bullish side for almost every day that you're trading. I mean, look at even the statistics of this entire rally from January. I would say there's been pretty heavy skew to green days to red days. And, we've even seen where it was green 10 out of 11 days in a row, right? And almost every day feels like a green day, or even if it's not green, it comes back to maybe 5-10 points within the previous day's close, and we haven't seen any real selling or any support breaking. So I look for, is there value there? And I did find quite a bit of value. I was like, all right, we can get 60 cents on a 10 wide. I don't think that's a bad trade to take, especially if we do gap down, we can just take the risk off when we wake up on Monday. So I like to try to pivot and piece myself together when I'm looking for those 2x the expected move values, right? If you're looking at maybe at the money, is there at the money value? I took a trade earlier this week, which was probably my biggest win that I had. I did 45 contracts on it and I went at the money. So when we were at 5,500, I sold the 5,500, 5,510. I got $3.30 in credit. This was around 10 a.m. on Thursday before the big sell-off started. And I just liked that area. So for me, if you're looking at it from that way, I normally get 60, 70, 80 contracts a trade. I was able to do half the contracts I normally do or close to. And since I was getting way more credit, if I wanted to close that out at $4 or 5 or 6, well, I already collected 330, so I don't mind taking that off. But when you have a trade like this out of the money, what I'm doing, if you take that trade and then it goes heavily against you, you're like, wow, I'm sitting at 5, 6 bucks of a debit to close these, and I only got 60 cents. Just not as fun, not as much value. So I look for as much at the money value as I can get, and the expected move can help you do that. If we gap up 20 points to like 54.87 by open, I'll be looking at more call credit spreads that are just outside the expected move band. Because if I'm able to get maybe a 1-to-1 payout on something that's good 70% of the time, I'm going to take those odds every chance and opportunity that I get to take those. Those are probably the big three things when it comes down to trading off the expected move that I wanted to pay attention to and tell you guys about. I do want to set like a little, we should also do a goal setting here as well. So this is with scalping. So if you're setting goals, and kind of keeping yourself as level-headed as you can, because I know for me, if we flip back to here, you guys can see we're up, 190,000 in the scalping portfolio in just 5 weeks, right? We started this port on May 15th, and I've just been working my tail off week after week, watching the market almost all day, every day. So because I wanted to make sure this is worth my time, because it's also, there's a handful of stress that comes along with it. You have a lot of times where you could second guess yourself or see the market push through your strikes or at them, and you take something off early. I would say my biggest issue has been not letting time work out for some of these trades where maybe I opened it for 70 cents, closed it for 40, and if I'd have waited 5, 10 more minutes, it would have been worth 20 cents or less because the market did happen to move then. So, there's psychological aspects to the market that you also have to pay attention to when it comes to scalping and setting goals and your mindset. So we'll pull up the stickies again. So for goal setting, I kind of have this rough estimate of if I could just make $100,000 a month, which I've exceeded, I'm in a really good spot and it's worth my time and I can spend all day looking at the charts. So that's always been my goal with this portfolio. Now, what that also can mean is that I say, hey guys, I'm up 188,000 over, 5 weeks, and maybe I take my foot off the pedal for the next 3 weeks and only make 60,000 if everything works out in my favor, or I have a week where I set myself back. So overall, as long as I can shoot for that 100,000 monthly, I've also paid $12,000 in commissions and fees. So I would actually be at 200,000 at this moment if it wasn't for commissions and fees as well. So I would say goal settings are a really big part and piece of trading a big portfolio because your patience has to be so high. And then also you don't want to over leverage yourself just because it's easy to do so, right? You've been making all this money, winning, doing well, maybe you're scalping well, your goals are hitting. And I know a lot of people who, if you just were able to take yourself away from your situation and look at it with a new point of view, it can help with your goals, right? And trying to figure out where you want to go from there. So I think the psychological aspect of building a portfolio is really hard. I think it's probably the hardest part. It has taken me, I've been building all of these skills for almost a decade, just 2, 3 years off of a decade for building skills around specifically scalping, understanding price action. I'm not new to this. This hasn't been, and we're talking every single day, right? We're talking me taking a deep dive under the market every single day because I've always wanted to be one of those traders who at the end of the year has made over $1 million P&L year to date. That's always been one of my goals, right? And I would say so far this year is probably my best chance at it because I've had such a good year as well. So there's that big psychological goal setting piece, and right, you can take your foot off the gas. I'm hoping that I can get there. I'm hoping I can get this portfolio P&L to 300,000, preferably in the next month. So hopefully by July 22nd, we can all come together again and this value's up. And you guys should kind of set that the same way, right? You might have times where you're struggling or stressed out in the market, but with goal setting and proper expectations, you can spend even more time just focusing on that process. So you can take these trades and continue to focus on building your portfolio over time and sizing properly based on the funds you have available, right? And then you can take that risk, that money, and then go set up a new business or a new company or a new idea, right? New investments. I could even take this 200 and park it in a CD. I don't want to do that. I'm very young, so I have more time to do risk. But there's always those options, right? Like you have so many options when it comes to setting these goals, no pun intended. So it's really cool, I think. I think focusing on the markets and making this such a big piece of your life is always a really beneficial thing for a lot of people. If you can handle it, if you can handle the stress, what the market can do to you psychologically, you never want to be in that position where you're not able to sleep at night. But overall, as this portfolio grows, I plan on actually decreasing my risk. So once we hit that 300,000 P&L year to date, I might take risk and scale it all the way back to where my goal is $50,000 a month. I'll be trading less every day. I'll be taking less contracts. And then I can focus more on that work-life balance that I think everybody's always searching for. Just in this video, I wanted to talk about the expected move, kind of understanding the strikes I like to take, why I take them. You guys even got to see the trade that we're doing with Amplified. Like I said, if you guys want to come join, the link is down below. Comment below for a chance at winning a free month. And then also, if you want to sign up, use code AMP and you're also going to get I think it's 15 bucks off the first month or 14 or something like that. So yeah, the link's down in the description if you'd like to join me there. But that's going to be everything for me in this video. I just wanted to make a quick EM one. We spent a lot of time talking about technical analysis, a broad market analysis, understanding yourself, your emotions, your mindset when you're scalping these options. So I just wanted to make a video that's more mindset driven, understanding the expected move. I got that question in the last video. Hey, can you take a deep dive on the psychological impacts and how much you're spending looking at the charts a day to see if that fits your routine? So I do appreciate the love and support. If you guys are going to be in Vegas for the trading seminar, that would be great. Um, you know, that's not mine that I'm putting together. I'll just be there. So hopefully I can see you guys there. And I do appreciate all the love and support, and I will chat with you guys in the next video.